Going over IRS Form 4070A, Employees Daily Record of Tips. This isn't required for your tax return. It is a voluntary form that the IRS provides for your convenience. If you're a tipped employee, there are multiple ways of being able to keep track of your daily tip income. Nowadays, most people probably use some sort of a tip recording application. There are a couple of common ones. There are also electronic payment tracking programs that bars and restaurants may use to help kind of pull tips together and to help people keep track of tip income. Now, the IRS does require that every tipped employee keep a daily record of tips, whether it's through Form 4070A, whether it's an electronic tip recording application, in which case they would also need to make sure that they have paper copies of each month. Now, this is one way of being able to help a tipped employee keep track of information that they'll then later report on IRS Form 4070, which is the employee's monthly tip report to their employer. And that tip report is due by the 10th day of the month following the month that they're reporting tips in. So if we went through this form and we completed employee's name and address, employer's name, the establishment name if it's different from the employer's name, and then to the top right hand corner you would enter the month and year. So if we're completing this for, say, March of 2023, then the IRS Form 4070, you would be required to give that to your employer no later than April 10th. So this allows the employer enough time to withhold Social Security and Medicare tax as part of their payroll tax. So for every day of the month, there's a corresponding row, and you'll see 1 through 5 on page 1. We'll go through the rest of the pages, and we'll show those entries as well. So in column A, you would enter the cash tips that you receive directly from customers and other employees. So if you participate in a tip sharing program or some sort of like a tip pool, then you would enter any tips that you received as part of that, in addition to cash tips that you received from a customer. In column B, you would enter any credit card or debit card tips. You would also include any tips from like gift cards or other electronic payments. You would not include a service charge that your restaurant or bar automatically applies for certain situations like special parties or groups of 8 or more, for example. There's a common service charge that's added. That doesn't count towards the credit card or debit card tips that you received. And then in column C, you would enter any tips that you paid out to other employees. You can use column D if you want to document the names of employees that you paid tips out to, but this is a voluntary form, so that is completely up to you. So in page 2, you can see rows 6 through the 15th. In page 3, 16th through the 25th. And then finally at the end of page 4, then you'll take all of the amounts that you recorded. So in column A, all of the tips that you received directly from customers and other employees, you would total that up. Then you would total up column B, the electronic payment tips that you received, and then you would total out the tips that you paid out to other employees. And you report those individually on IRS Form 4070, either on line 1, line 2, or line 3, respectively. And then when you calculate your tip income on Form 4070, you're basically adding these two, the tips that you receive from customers, as well as the credit card and debit card tips, and then you're backing out or subtracting the tips that you paid out. You don't pay taxes on that. So however you keep track of your tip income, the IRS does require that you keep a daily record of your tip income, whether it's through this, whether it's an electronic tip reporting application. Maybe there's an electronic program that your employer participates in that helps track all of this for tax purposes. So whatever the case may be, this is one way of being able to track your tips on a daily basis, and certainly not the only way, and it's not required. But the IRS does expect you to have some means that you use to report tip income. And additionally, for every month in which you receive $20 or more in tips, you're expected to file IRS Form 4070, which is your employee tip report to your employer so that they can take out the taxes. That report is due on the 10th day of the month following the month that you're reporting. So if you're reporting for March 2023, then that report would be due to your employer no later than the 10th of April. So you can find more information on this in IRS Publication 531, Reporting Tip Income. You can also read our article that we put on our website with regards to IRS Form 4070A and IRS Form 4070. So if you want to read those articles, simply go to our website, teachmepersonalfinance.com, type in IRS Form 4070 or 4070A, and our article on each form should appear. If you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.